Hi, welcome to another episode of In Renfrew. My name is Tom Sidney and I am the mayor. And I am joined today with Mr. Rob Tremblay, our new CAO. Rob, you've been here almost a year. Maybe give us a little bit of insight as to what a CAO's role is, because I know it's a different thing for Renfrew now, so we're all learning, but you have experience here, so if you could just sort of let the viewers know what you do.
Certainly. So Renfrew went to a CAO model. I joined the town at the end of June. It'll be a year, so time flies when you're having fun. We're one of the last municipalities in Ontario that didn't have a CAO, and under the Municipal Act, the CAO ensures the general management and control of the operations of a municipality. So I'm responsible for the staff team. And my role is to make sure that there's some synergies and we're lining up and achieving the things that council wants us to do. So our role as staff is to give council our best advice, and that best advice means kind of understanding where the community is at, doing the research that's needed, and then implementing the decisions of council. So as CAO, I am responsible for bringing together the entire staff team to ensure that everybody's working together, working very closely with council and the community to make sure that we're moving the town of Renfrew forward and that our operations are as efficient and effective as possible, but also that we're looking to the future while getting the day-to-day done for the public and for what we do as a municipality.
So you said, looking into the future for Renfrew and being prepared for stuff like that. So I know that you've thrown this word around. I think some people are still like, oh, what's a strat plan, a strategic plan? I know the town is currently in the process of doing that. So maybe with the viewers watching, when we talk about a strat plan or strategic plan and, things will be coming forward and all that stuff that's coming out, what exactly is it and what are we trying to achieve for it?
So it's pretty important to kind of get everybody on the same page of what we want to accomplish to make Renfrew continue to make it great, but to kind of plan for the future. And it's really about setting out some key strategies on things that we want to do. And as part of this process, we're hearing the same things, which is great because everybody's on the same page, that we want good roads and good reliable infrastructure. We want quality services that are affordable, and that as a government we're open and accountable and transparent. And that also that we're prepared for growth, that we want people to live here. We know with the highway coming. So that's what we try to get down to. But you need, before you start getting to action, you kind of want to understand where you're going. And then all the important documents such as the budget and our policies and our major capital support that vision. So what it allows us to do is have a good conversation with our stakeholders, with council, with the community, at the staff level to say, hey, what are we set to do and how are we going to achieve it? And so it's a good conversation to have, and we've had some good positive feedback to date.
Yeah, I know some of the feedback too is also communication pieces, and that's, this is one of the things
Exactly.
we're doing here so that people can hear what we're doing and know what's going on. Our last episode we had Mike Aslan on. We were talking about the roads that we're going to be doing in 2023 into 2024. That takes money. So we just actually finished the budget. How is the budget this year? How did we do? Where are we going? What, let the people know what we're planning on doing and what it came to.
So I think it achieves some of those things that we were talking about growth and quality services and affordability. So other municipalities are seeing much higher increases. We were able to keep that at 2.5%. From the money that stays with the town, that's about a $49 increase for the average household house in Renfrew.
And that's over a year, right?
That's
over
not
a whole month
year.
or it's over a year.
Over a year. And so it's a large budget. There's close to $50 million in capital works. We know Director Aslan talked a lot about the major kind of road work, downtown work that we're doing phase 2. There's also a lot of great plans to plan for the future. We're looking at redevelopment of our waterfront and ensuring that public space, people can enjoy it, that we take full advantage of those assets that we have in terms of the quality, the lovely space that where the museum is, O'Brien Park and the Swinging Bridge, but also up to Forgy Park, just as an example. But and then looking at our industrial lands and getting other employers to town and looking at how we're going to service other lands in town to make sure that we can get developers and new residents here to support the services that we enjoy. Completing Mattaway, which is a great project in terms of the elevated walking track and the second ice pad and multi-purpose rooms and all the wonderful things that Mattaway is going to provide. So there's a lot lot in there to do, and what it does is set the course for the staff team in terms of what council expects of us to achieve this year and how we're going to pay for it.
Great, and I know the overall budget's about $79 million this year, 2.5%. That's pretty impressive that we were able to achieve that. I know I was really happy with that. But with the taxes, everybody just thinks, okay, I pay my taxes and it goes to the town and whatever. But I think there's a little bit of a formula to that, and it's not 100% of that money comes directly to the town. So how does that work out? What happens there?
Yeah, so what people sometimes don't understand is for every dollar that we collect, we're collecting not just for the town and our services, so the things that people know, like roads and recreation and waste collection, garbage and recycling collection, that kind of stuff. We also collect money for the county to support their services and also the school boards. So for every dollar that a household pays in property tax, only about 66% or 66 cents for every dollar stays with the town. And so our staff team are collecting tax dollars to give it to other places. So when people pay their tax bill in Renfrew, they're not just paying for their services here, they're paying for county services, they're also paying a contribution towards the school boards.
And I know part of that budget too is salaries, staff salaries, which is always a bit of a issue once a year when that list comes out, and we hear it all the time. But how much of the budget is spent on salaries? Because I think a lot of people think that's pretty much all we spend it on, and I know that's not accurate. So what's the percentage of salary versus operations and stuff?
So salaries only represent about 43%. So from a public sector perspective, even municipal perspective, that's pretty good. So we're able to achieve a lot of things. We have a really great staff team, and I want to thank them for all their work. We just had a winter that it didn't stop snowing, and the whole point of we're talking about Mattaway and all the park space, that takes people to be able to do that. So they do wonderful work. So only about 44% of the total money is for that. But if you look at the school board or in the health sector, salaries are way more. So that's important. And the other one is taxes only pay for a small portion of what we do. It's a big portion, it's 54%. So of all the things we're doing this year, people's tax money is only paying for 54% of it. So that's kudos to the staff team. I know Director Aslan was talking about securing grant funding to be able to do road reconstruction projects and water and sewer projects. So there's some federal and provincial grant money. There's user fees and charges that people will pay. And there's other ways that sometimes we need debt to help offset. We have solar panels at Mattaway, which help bring in some revenue as well. And we have some tenants coming to Mattaway, to Town Hall, to the library, some good strategic partners that are bringing in revenue for the town, which lessens what taxpayers have to pay through their taxes. So, but I want to just say, thanks to the staff team, they do wonderful work. And I know this week you talked about Professional Firefighters Week. So just thanks to the firefighters for keeping us all safe. And if there's a fire in Renfrew, they're there to save your structure, save you, and so I just want to thank the staff team because they're really dedicated and professional, and they do important work for the town.
Absolutely. I know I'm very grateful for them. They do great stuff, and we are very fortunate. It's a very good team. So just to wrap up, thank you for joining me this time. I know there's a lot of exciting things that are coming to Renfrew, and we're working on some things, and I think the next episode we're going to probably talk about the business side that's coming. I think that's going to be really exciting to learn about that. So again, Rob, thank you, and I know we meet often, which is good. So with that being said, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for the next one, and we appreciate your viewer. Thank you.